Here we are, Woods and Whitetails episode 5, I believe. Joey and I are back, and we are in a real special place. Special in my heart. Buckdown Deer Camp, northern Minnesota. And yeah, we got a couple topics tonight to go over. I think we were going to start with some stories. We're going to try and do that every week, probably every week or 2 weeks. Just a story from the hunting woods in our adventures. So I'll kick it off here. This story comes from this area, actually, Buckdown area. I'll give you more story on the Buckdown Deer Camp in a little bit here, but this particular story was a deer scouting mission. A lot of snow, and when I didn't really know what I was doing, I still don't know what I'm doing, but I know more than at that point. I was just walking swamps and seeing what happens, and I was out in the middle of this cattail swamp and walking along, and there was a little black ball. It looked like a hay bale had been dropped in the middle of the swamp with a little black blob. And so I came upon this and realized after looking at it for about a minute that it was a hibernating bear. And I was a couple feet from this. Soon realized that it's a black bear hibernating in the middle of the swamp. And yeah, what a thrill. I looked at that, and as soon as I realized that it was a bear hibernating, I took off running about 100 yards. Yeah, and I don't know if I should have ran or what the right thing to do was, but
probably did the right thing.
Yeah. So yeah, nothing happened, but thrill nonetheless. Yeah, crazy.
That's exciting. That's so interesting how it was just out in the open.
Yeah, no cave, den, anything. Middle of the cattail slough. So, yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of frightening. But
It luckily nothing happened. Bears are pretty scared of people, but yeah, you don't want to provoke a hibernating one for sure.
Yeah, you'd kind of imagine they'd probably be not fully alert, but
maybe a little groggy. Yeah. Is there a story you want to share?
Sure. This was this past whitetail archery season, actually, and I've been trying a little more ground hunting lately, just trying to figure it out. It's really tough. I'm trying to, kind of get the different strategies involved with how I set up and what my camouflage is, and I even bought a decoy to try and lure in these late season bucks I was encountering while I was ground hunting. But one particular event, I was on the ground in the swampy area I usually hunt. I'm usually on islands or a ridge, but this particular time I set up kind of on a bottleneck, and I put myself against a backdrop that had a lot of brush and cattails, and I had enough camouflage where I could blend in pretty easily.
Wow.
So I set up, and I had a trail camera there for a couple of weeks, and I knew there were some younger bucks passing in and out, and every once in a while, like close to near dark, there was an 8-pointer, a pretty nice 8-pointer that would come through.
Wow.
So I thought, you never know. It was a calm night, there wasn't a lot of wind, and I'm set up, and sure enough, I hear a bit of movement behind me, and it's coming closer, and it's coming right at me, and I'm just sitting there still. I draw back, because that's kind of the next challenge.
Name of the game with bow hunting, right?
Yeah, and with ground hunting, you have to kind of really be strategic with that element.
When the deer and you see them, it's too late.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're not drawn.
Because
It's a calculation, right?
So that's something I'm still figuring out. Hopefully I can get better at it.
You'll never figure it out completely, but you get a little bit better for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And sure enough, keep hearing this noise, and then it's on my left, on my right behind me, and I see a small coyote in front of me hopping around.
Oh, wow.
And then to my left I see a large coyote just kind of looking around, and another coyote to my right, and I was just kind of in the middle of their push forward.
Pack or whatever.
Yeah, it looked like
wow.
they may have been traveling or hunting.
Huh.
But suffice to say, I didn't see any deer that evening.
You have had a lot of predators in that area.
It's been really eye-opening. I don't know if it's just if it's typical, maybe the spots I put my cameras. It's one camera in particular probably had dozens of different coyotes and timber wolf even.
Wow.
Bear.
Wow.
So,
yeah, all of them.
So I don't know if what it is, but it just seemed like there was a lot of predators this year.
Huh.
But it might have just been where I was putting my cameras too.
Yeah, just travel routes and such.
There were a lot of deer though as well in addition. So
it's weird they kind of both share the same path.
Yeah.
Kind of mind their own business. So yeah, make sure that that stove doesn't burn your hand or no smoke. So yeah, we're in the hunting shack here. It's fully off the grid basically. So this is wood that we've cut, and yeah, it heats the cabin here, and so pretty cool. But yeah, we can transition here into maybe deer camp stories. That's kind of what this focus is going to be here. We got a couple weekend plans here. We'll bring that to you. History of deer camp for me, and what I'll try and shorten it up a little bit because it's a long journey, long time. But yeah, I'll dive into that here. Yeah, so basically, my uncle had bought a property back in the 70s, and in the northeast part of Minnesota, and yeah, that's how I got into hunting, and thank goodness he did that, and a deer camp, and just a massive tradition. We can add some pictures. Boxcar, it was owned by the railroad.
Wow.
And bought it for extremely cheap, back in the day, a couple $1,000s for a big chunk of land. And yeah, so that's where I started at a young age, and fast forward, grew up, just got hooked on the whitetail hunting, and I don't know what happened. It just I just can't get enough of it still to this day. So
that is true.
Yeah, so my dad and I broke off, and we purchased and built our own hunting shack. So that is where we are sitting. Yeah, 2015. We purchased this, and a lot of hard work. It's you got to be motivated. It's a lot, but worth it if you're into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it keeps you fit.
For sure. Yeah, we got a journal here that kind of cool, just like we've done at my uncle's place. He has a journal dating back to the 70s.
Wow.
Of just anytime you've come there, just what the weather was, if you shot a deer, if you saw a wolf, a bear, and so yeah, we've got a journal here, and it's kind of cool.
It's awesome. I'll have to make an entry.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, we bring friends and family, and just a good time all around.
Yeah, I love coming up here.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Nice. Really a variety of things you can do.
For sure. Yeah, we were out scouting tonight. We walked just shy of 4 miles, and we're gonna do some ice fishing tomorrow. We'll share that with you. But I think Joey was gonna share his side of deer camp. It's different, but the same in a way.
Absolutely. So typically the family cabin in northern Wisconsin is used as the usual deer camp, and we will go up there, and my two uncles and my dad and my grandpa, every once in a while a couple other characters will show up, and you can just count on a great time. There's usually a casino trips mixed in there, a bonfire. We have a great feast. Always keeping in mind, you know, my grandma would always present these big, just traditional deer camp dinners, and we would come back from hunting. My grandpa is a real traditional hunter. We typically would hunt sun up till sundown, and if it was cold and you get in the cabin, grandma would have this big pot roast meal with potatoes and gravy and carrots, and you'd get back into the cabin and you'd open the door and there'd just be this delicious pot roast, potatoes, carrots, gravy, dinner. And
we've got some broccoli cheddar soup here. We're heating on the wood stove, so after this video we'll eat that.
Looking forward to that. And that was always just an iconic thing. Grandma Ford, rest in peace. So my wife had filled the role a little bit. She would make a delicious like lasagna meal, and it's kind of been passed around here and there. But outside of that, we have a logbook like you. My grandpa, he's an accountant, still is to this day, and he would create this long Excel sheet, this chart of everyone's deer, what year, where the deer was harvested, and just all the stats about it. So this goes back till I think 1987 or so.
Wow.
It's just really cool to have that info. Also adding to that, my grandpa, he kind of set me up in the spot I still hunt today.
He scouted it way back,
Way
right?
back. So I'm really fortunate. I'm very lucky to be able to hunt that area, and it still is, you know, productive to this day. And it's kind of cool to have that data and intel to go along with it. So
exactly.
I love deer camp. Cherish it, because you know you might not always have it. You're talking on the way up, and
it's a special thing. There's a lot of more behind people watching. You know, might not see. You know, if you haven't been, you might think it's just like, oh, you go and kill deer. It's so much more than that.
Yeah.
A lot of the special things. So if people are out there listening, I suggest you know, get into hunting. It's a real fun thing for reasons you probably don't even see.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta experience it, and some people don't like it, but it's special.
Yeah.
A lot of camaraderie there.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Should I put another log in here?
Yeah, Joey's gonna put another log on here. We can show you guys that. Yeah, so we cut and split all this wood here from the property, and yeah, it's awesome. We are gonna do some ice fishing this weekend, and some deer scouting. So we'll bring that to you after this video. We're that's ahead of us, so we're filming this, and yeah, we'll add that in. And
I'm excited.
yeah, it's a late season. I don't know if you call it late season.
Feels like late season.
Feels like late season. It's the end of Minnesota walleye and pike fishing. So yeah, we're gonna hit it tomorrow and combine it with some deer scouting. We'll add some intel stories or whatever you want to call it in there.
Sounds like a good day.
Yeah, it should be fun. Tonight was just breathtaking. It's phenomenal out there. So
Full moon.
Got on a lot of good deer signs. So beds. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. piecing together some of that sign.
Yeah, some of those buck beds were really cool.
Yeah, seeing some of the scrapes, they were really fresh, it seemed.
They were, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that was about all we were going to do for this episode. We were going to maybe just update you guys on, we have a website we're working on, and it should be going here in the next, I don't know, maybe month or so. So
Absolutely. I'm real excited to help present and build the Woods and Whitetails.
this has been all Joey. He is the geek.
It was a passion project, and it should be out pretty soon here. Just sort of another way to share interesting things like recipes, stories, different articles on maybe profiles of people we know, and just sharing knowledge, especially kind of in the form of like little articles. And anyone that wants to visit, it's woodsandwhitetails.com. See right here. And you can submit pretty much any media about hunting, fishing, whatever, and we'd be happy to showcase it. Or if you have a recipe or a story, or you just want to check it out, it's just another way to maybe learn a little more about hunting.
Yeah, we're excited for the future. We got a lot of stuff lined up, some old timers, and yeah, we're just gonna keep doing it here. So just sharing stories, and we're just in the woods a lot. So it's kind of fun just to put it out there for the world to see.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a good wrap on the deer camp here. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you later.